So this is the recap for live stream 336, I believe. Over the weekend, we had the trade deal between the EU and the United States. Certainly thought there'd be a bit more volatility, but we do have the FOMC coming up this week on Tuesday and the rate decision on Wednesday. Also, yesterday we had the US president saying he would like a weaker currency to help trade. So there seems to be a little bit of pressure on the Fed to cut rates. The forecast is for rates to remain unchanged. Let's just have a look at the trades we made today. Today, another challenging day in the old office. So started the day off. Look to take a long trade here. Thought prices came back. Thought I could see a move into the high 20s, possible 30s. Was looking at a Fibonacci. I was seeing the theme from Friday, where we had a sell-off and prices retraced to the upside. Thought I could see a similar theme. That wasn't to be the case. Went long, prices turned around, and ultimately didn't work in my favor. Believe I went short and managed to take profits. Waited through here. I was cautious about taking shorts after what happened on Friday, so even though I had a couple of short setups here, didn't take them because I was a bit concerned that we would see that retracement back to the upside. After seeing this trade here work out, decided to go short and prices turned. So eventually got out of that trade for a smaller loss on gold. Then we had a look over at our friends over at ES. So over at ES, had some selling coming into the US Open. Prices were in a pretty fairly contracted range. I wouldn't say it's particularly extreme. So just before I normally start trading around 11:30 EST, I had this big selling coming in towards the European close. Decided to go contrarian. Decided to take a long rather than a short. And that was pretty much because I thought, well, with the trade deal, possibly FOMC, we may see a move up. So went long. Price, of course, turned around. Eventually, decided to go short. Took it off there. Went short. Believe I hit target on this move down. Moved my target further. Well, I didn't move this target down, but profit was taken. At this point, I was near enough break. Might have been near break even. Went short again, even though I had some reservations about shorting, considering the fact that the daily chart is in an uptrend. So went short, prices turned around, took it off for a loss, went short again. Eventually, that was taken off again for a loss. Did I switch long? I did, I believe. May have switched long. Yeah, I got out, went long, prices came back, took it off there, and that was it for ES on the day. Finally, we'll have a look at NQ. Again, try to take a contrarian trade. Thought we may see the move back to the upside. So, first trade was long, following the system similar to the ES. Prices turned around in this area. Was stopped out, went long, contrarian. Came down, then he went short. Managed to take profit, went short again. Managed to take profits, went short, took some profits there, it seems. Eventually went long, Wanted to see prices go higher. Price came down, took me out for a small loss, and went short up here off these highs. I thought prices would go down. Prices turned around, so was stopped out. Had a pretty aggressive stop. Went long, looking for the move at the point of control. Prices turned around, took a loss. Then went short several times. It seems went long, took a small loss, went short, and I believe I took it off here. Smaller than I'd like gain, went short again, took it off for a loss. Just taking losses through here as the market's just chopping around to the downside, couldn't break the lows of the day. And the most recent trade was this long right here. Eventually I decided I would just simply just buy the market, looking for it to go up in line with the daily trend. Went long, prices turned around, so just took it off there and stopped trading. So over on the account history, today was a day of attrition. If we look at how we started the day, so I'm going to have to reset this account a lot quicker than I would like, of course. It's inside of a week. Don't think I've had this account 10 days. So we started the day at 341. We'll be ending the day at 167. Started the day on losing. Hold on. Let's see, make sure we get it right. Started the day on losing footing. Managed to recover some of the early losses. Just accumulating losses here and there. Just smaller losses. There weren't any particular big loss today. It's just the attrition of accumulated losses. Losing between 24 and 35. Losing the odd 13 in there. Had bigger wins, 39 and 71. But the consistency of the losers was the tail of the tape today. Look at 16, 15, 24. Just really consistent in terms of the size of the losses. A bigger win there at 46. And we can see 22, 17, 39. The odd bigger loss is sprinkled in there here and there. But it was more the consistency of the losing trades. And this can be seen in the trade performance. So over on the trade performance here, we can see a total of 25 trades was taken. So I would say that's over trading by a fair margin. I think anything over 10 is rather extreme. 16 trades on NQ, 6 on ES and 3 on gold. We can see here we are negative across the board, across all 3 instruments. NQ being the most volatile instrument, of course, it's going to have the greater number of losses. In terms of win percentage, we can see here gold is the closest to 50%, but at 33%, that's not great. Overall win percentage, we're looking at 16%, which is terrible, really bad. And of course, the least successful of all the instruments traded was NQ at 13%, the most volatile instrument and the greatest accumulated losses. Wasn't that bad on gold, but smaller loss at 6,500, but we only had 1 win and 2 losers. So overall, accuracy, terrible. Overtraded a bit. Positive I can take from today, the only positive, I'd say, is the average win column. So the average win being 47,781 and the average loss being 16,309. If in some ideal world, I would be able to combine the average win, average loss with a win percentage, which would be maybe higher, say, I don't know, 55% or something. If I was able to do that, that would be ideal. But we can see here I've addressed the win percentage issue, the average win issue, sorry, and the average loss, but I've fallen on my face in terms of the win percentage. Of course, you can't have ideal conditions all the time, but we can see here average win on NQ being 58,875, but across 16 trades there were only 2 winners and 14 losers, which is terrible. And we can also see over on our friends at ES, the average win is more than twice the size of the average loss, but there's only 17% win percentage. Now, where the average win and the average loss are closer, the accuracy goes up. So there is a bit of a compromise there. As they are closer, the accuracy also is affected. But what will I do going forward now? That's what I have to think about. What will I do to address these issues? Because I've been on a bit of a slide to the downside at the moment. And we do have FOMC, which brings its own unique set of conditions that do affect the market. The market tends to be a bit more challenging around FOMC. As market participants wait, can become a bit more choppy, and you don't see the follow through as the market waits for monetary policy decisions. Now, I'll have to go away and look at the overall trading and what it is that I'm doing, but it's not great. I might as well reset the account on. No, I'll reset it at the start of the next stream. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Good luck trading. Have a great day.